Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Okay, please can someone confirm hear me? Good evening once again. My name is Dennis Williams, and I'll be your moderator for this particular session. Well, welcome to welcome to welcome to week five. Right, of the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program. Today is supposed to be a joint class of both week four and week five. Last week we were not able to meet due to some particular reasons, but this week we decided that we're going to have a combined session to cover up for last week's session and also this week. Last week's topic was supposed to be on health contracts and transaction, and this week we're talking about healthcare, health tech, and tourism. So while we're still waiting for our mentors and other mentees to join in, right, I'll just go ahead and introduce to this session, see how far we are able to get through with the session. So my name is Dennis Williams, and I'll be a moderator for this session, right? And to the announcements, registration for next quarter is ongoing. If you are still interested in taking if you are still interested in taking up this particular if you are still interested in taking up any particular course under the gypsy mentorship and internship program, you are free to do that. Kindly reach, and I will do well to send you the link for registration. The courses available for mentorship are intellectual property, entertainment business, health tech and law, um, health tech and law, data privacy, fintech industry, artificial intelligence and technology, blockchain, NFT and metaverse, energy disputes resolution, and the energy industry. So if you're interested in picking up any of this particular course in the next quarter, or you want to for this particular program, please feel free to reach out to me and we'll do the registration link across. And once again, we're heading into and entering into week six. We kindly advise that those that are yet to make complete payments for this particular program should ensure to do that. Should ensure to do that so that they can ensure to do that so that they can get their certificates at the end of the program. That is for those who are yet to make complete that made part payments and are yet to make complete payments and through the free link. Right. And over to introducing our mentors for this particular class. Our that was supposed to were expecting is Dr. Omoye Arita Ukong, right? Dr. Arita, for more than 6 years, Dr. Omoye Arita Ukong has been practicing conventional medicine in Nigeria. She is extremely passionate about combining orthodox and alternative medicine techniques, the body, overall wellness, and health. Dr. Arita has a balanced life. She is a proactive health kid, a singer slash songwriter, and has enjoyed scientific and has and she enjoys scientific research, rehabilitation, technology, and nature. She provides her clients with information on how to love themselves to every cell in order to achieve optimum wellness. Some of her work focus includes degenerative disease of this geriatric geriatric house calls, um, integrity therapy, and research on the effects of vitamin D3 supplementations in chronic pain management. Um, Qualifications: she's a doctor of medicine. She has a doctor of medicine from Ukraine, diploma of complementary medicine from Malaysia, family planning practitioner, USAID, USAID, spinal flexibility and strength specialist in Nigeria, member of Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, member of the Nigerian Medical, and she's registered with Ukrainian Medical Council. And that's our first mentor for today. She's not yet here on call, but will be joining us shortly, and we are looking forward to hearing from her. Our second mentor that we're supposed to have on call today is Mr. Give Oyere. Gives Oyere is an optometric practice, private and is in practice, private and public health sector. He's a healthcare manager and a health slash finance specialist. That is our second. That's supposed to be our second mentor for today, Mr. Gibbs Oyere. Um, he's not yet here also, and I'm sure he'll be joining us shortly. Our last but not least on our mentors for today is Mr. Ebenezer Egwatu. Um, not to stretch, not to stretch, is that I will just be reading a few lines, considering that he has been with us from week one, and we are no strangers to Mr. Ebenezer. Mr. Ebenezer C is a legal practitioner, medical law consultant, certified mediator, a trained legislative drafter, and a patient's rights and safety advocate. He is the principal partner at a principal. He is the principal partner law firm multidisciplinary multi consults, multidisciplinary consults, a firm that provides innovative legal solutions located in Abuja, territory in Nigeria. He is also the founder and executive director of Lawyers Arise for the People Initiative, a patients' rights and KC NGO. I'm sure we have all seen Mr. Ebenezer's his details, just description of who Mr. Ebenezer is. We've read that from the first week down to this week. You still want to get to know Mr. Ebenezer, you can still make reference to flyers that we post on LinkedIn so that you can still check out some of his qualification and some of he's doing. Thank you so much, Mr. Ebenezer, for joining. You're welcome to the session today. I'm not very certain why we mentees on call. I will try to
Thank you,
still
Mr. Williams.
get.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome,
Um,
sir.
just give me a little time to settle in a boat that dropped me, and we have to use bike to chase to recover the phone. So I could even come in this early. I had called Sophia as soon as I said that I would join in a bit late. So you can carry on with the settling. I will join back. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's for Mr. Ebenezer. He'll be joining us shortly, and while he gets to set up. So what we'll be doing before Mr. Is ready to speak to us, we'll be taking in the presentations from the mentees. I'm sure he's also in the background what you will be presenting on. But please, I would like to ask
I
our
am.
mentees that are currently here on call if it's okay, if it's possible for them to turn on their videos so that we can see them, right? So please turn on your video camera so that we can see you, and then we'd like to have the presentations from our mentees. So group, um, we're supposed to have two presentation in this particular session, right? And I want to believe that the presenters for both week 4 and week 5 remember the we're taking two topics today, health tech contracts and transactions, health tech business and tourism. So please, we would like to have presentations on that. So please, for week 4, if you are with us, please, you can go ahead and start off with your presentation. We have the presenter for week 4 with us. Thank you, Dr. Arita, for joining us. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. Thank you very much for joining in. So, well, okay, if the presenter for week 4 is not around, please can we have presentation for week 5? Okay, I'll insist on call. Please, can anyone step in if the group presents on call? Please, you can step up. Considering that it's a group work, we expect that the group should have also themselves with the presentation also. So please, if that's possible, we would like to have your presentation right about now so that we can with the session. So please, the group presenter, you can come up and make your presentation. Okay. So can I just select anyone to just present? Please, seeing that it seems we are a little bit skeptical, please can I will just call out someone to present on behalf of the group. I've checked through the group. I've noticed that both the presenters and the backup presenters are not in session. So please, we would like to have one of the members that are currently on call step in and just make presentation. If it's possible, Bridget, if you don't mind, can you come up and make presentation on behalf of your group? Hello, Bridget, can you hear me? Okay. Seeing it seems Bridget is not hearing me.
I
Okay, Bridget, can you hear me?
can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir.
All right, so please, I would just like for you to, considering that we don't have both the presenter and the backup presenters here in the session,
Okay, so I'm good.
can you step in and make presentation on behalf of your group? I can share the slides for you if that's possible. You can go ahead and make presentation for week 5. Bridget, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, how about Oluwa Juwon, please? I'm sorry that we have to do it this way. It's presentation part of our classes, so please, we'll still like to see if we can get presentations from the group. So Oluwa Juwon, please, you can help us if you can just make presentation on behalf of the group.
Okay, good day, sir. Can you hear me?
Good day. So I can help. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'll be presenting on week 5's topic, health business and health tourism.
Can the presenter speak?
Sir? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, Oluwa Juwon.
Okay, good day, everyone. So I'll be presenting on health business and health tourism. Next slide. Healthcare technology innovation. Healthcare technology innovation is the development and implementation of new technologies, tools, systems, and processes aimed at improving healthcare delivery, patient outcomes, and overall efficiency within the healthcare industry. So healthcare technology are just the several innovations, several tools and systems and processes that have been developed to aid healthcare delivery, to aid patient outcomes and the overall efficiency within the healthcare industry. So this can include a wide variety of advancements such as medical devices, telemedicine platforms, electronic health records, artificial intelligence applications, wearable health devices, and more. So these are examples of healthcare technologies that have been developed over the years, and each of them has aided the advancement of healthcare, aided the efficiency of healthcare providers. Next slide, please. Okay, healthcare technology innovation. The goals of healthcare technology innovation are to enhance patient care, to increase accessibility, to reduce cost. So with the help of these innovations, with the help of these tools and processes, patient care is enhanced. Patient care is better, it's easier, it's faster. Also, it increases accessibility and it reduces cost. These are the goals of healthcare technology innovation. Next slide, please. Healthcare technology innovation. Telemedicine. So these two are examples of healthcare technology innovation. One of them we've mentioned here over and over again, and it's telemedicine. Telemedicine helps healthcare providers build relationships of trust with international patients before arrival for treatment, thereby improving customer experience. So we've learned that telemedicine is medicine from a distance, medicine from a from at a distance. So the healthcare provider is in one place, the patient is in another place, and the healthcare provider is still able to provide healthcare services. So this process, this system is an example of healthcare technology innovation. And um one of the ways it has aided healthcare, the healthcare industry, is that it has helped healthcare providers build relationships of trust with international patients even before they arrive for treatment, thereby improving customer experience. So, we're talking about the way healthcare technology innovation has impacted health tourism. So, health tourism is a system whereby um, healthcare providers, patients can connect with healthcare providers from another country and they can offer them and they can come over to where the healthcare provider is, another country, to access healthcare services. So telemedicine helps healthcare tourism by helping healthcare providers to build relationships of trust with international patients even before their arrival for treatment, thereby improving customer experience. So probably before the patients even arrive in the country of the healthcare provider, they have adopted the system of telemedicine to interact, and this helps them to build a relationship of trust even before their arrival for treatment. Telemedicine also gives healthcare providers competitive advantage as it builds long-lasting relationships. So because of this um, relationship of trust and confidence that has been built, The patients, the relationship between the patients and the healthcare providers actually lasts long, and this gives that healthcare provider and even that country competitive advantage in the area of healthcare tourism, gives them competitive advantage over other countries in the area of healthcare tourism. Another healthcare innovation is artificial intelligence and machine learning. So in health tourism, AI and ML help to analyze large amounts of patient information to identify patterns and patient predict patient information and predict patient behavior and trends. So AI and ML help to analyze large amounts of patient information. So doctors don't have to sit and do all the paperwork by themselves. They can rely on AI and ML to analyze large amounts of patient information. This makes the work easier. This relieves them of the large amounts of workload that they would have had to do. AI is a innovation that can identify patterns and predict future outcomes. So in the area of health tourism, AI could help analyze large amounts of patient information and predict patient behavior, predict trends in order to give patients and customers the best experience they can. AI-powered chatbots improves communication and transparency. So chatbots you must have encountered them before. So you chat with AI online and AI provides you answers. So some healthcare providers actually have this on maybe their websites or their apps and things like that. So when patients can easily chat with them 24/7 at any time, can chat with them, and this improves communication and transparency. AI powered language translation makes patient care more personalized. So when we're talking about health tourism, oftentimes the culture, the language of the patient differs from that of the healthcare provider. And this could cause problems as the problem of communication barrier, language barrier would arise. So AI powered language translation helps in this area and it makes the patient's care more personalized. Next slide, please. Healthcare policy and regulations. The key regulatory frameworks in the Nigerian health system include international provisions and national policies on health and human rights, as well as legal frameworks for the protection of human rights. These frameworks aim to regulate the health system, ensure the highest possible health standards, and protect the right to healthy living. Sorry, I checked that again. The key regulatory frameworks in the Nigerian health system include international provisions and national policies on health and human for the protection of human rights. So there are several provisions that regulate healthcare in Nigeria. Some of them are international provisions, some of them are national policies. We have the Patient's Bill of Rights, we have the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act, we have the Nursing and Midwifery Act. These are healthcare regulations, and there are several of them, as well as legal frameworks for the protection of human rights. These frameworks aim to regulate the health system, ensure the highest possible health standards, and protect the right to healthy living. Next slide, please. No, that's not the next slide. Okay. Health, okay. The newly enacted National Health Insurance Authority NHIA Act mandates public insurance for all residents of Nigeria and establishes the basic health care provision fund and state health insurance schemes. It also transfers funds management from health maintenance organizations to the state health insurance schemes. Overall, these regulatory frameworks aim to improve health outcomes, promote human rights, and achieve universal human coverage in Nigeria. Next slide, please. The role of international health certifications. International health certifications give healthcare providers global recognition and credibility. So, employers and individuals across the world acknowledge international standards, thereby promoting trust in the healthcare providers' expertise. Also, international health certifications help the healthcare provider to adhere to universal standards. So, because before he is certified, he has been trained, right? So he is aware of universal standards and is able to adhere to them, is able to meet up to them. So in international health certifications ensure adherence to universal safety standards. International health certifications also give the healthcare provider the ability to interact with people of other cultures. So cross-cultural competence. International health certifications prepare professionals to navigate diverse health perspectives. Next slide, please. Um, International health certifications also bring about versatility in career opportunities. So the healthcare provider has more career opportunities at his disposal. Possessing an international health certification broadens career opportunities. Global networking opportunities. It also gives the healthcare provider global networking opportunities. So healthcare providers shouldn't restrict themselves, they shouldn't limit themselves, and they should strive to get this international health certification because it provides them global networking opportunities. Networking on an international scale opens doors to collaboration, shared knowledge, and potential partnerships. International health certifications also bring about commitment to lifelong learning. Holding an international health certification signifies a commitment to lifelong learning. Next slide, please. The economic impact of health tourism. Next slide, please. So, as explained earlier, health tourism is when a patient from one country goes to another country to meet with a healthcare provider. So this has economic impact on the receiving country, on the healthcare provider's country. So the first one is revenue generation. It generates substantial revenue into the economy of the destination country. So when these patients are coming to patronize the healthcare providers and facilities in the destination country, it's actually generating revenue for that country, not even just the healthcare sector alone, also for transportation, also for also in the transport industry, also in the hospitality industry, hotels, also for the restaurants. So it generates revenue for the destination country. Also, another economic impact of health tourism is job creation. It creates employment opportunities in various sectors, including hospitality, tourism, transportation, restaurants, and travel agencies. So when these patients from other countries, when these international patients are coming over, there would be a need for more people to be in the mentioned industries, like the mentioned sectors like hospitality, tourism. We would need more hands to help. And this creates job opportunities for the people of the destination country. Another economic impact of health tourism is infrastructure development. In order to attract medical tourists, countries invest in state-of-the-art healthcare facilities, building and maintaining modern hospitals and specialized centers. So, because the destination country desire that um, these international patients keep coming, they want to attract them by providing state-of-the-art healthcare facilities. They make sure their facilities are well maintained, they are improved. They ensure that even their roads are well. They ensure that their infrastructure generally is on point because they want to attract medical tourists. So this brings about infrastructural development, and this is something that the people of the destination country also get to enjoy. Next slide, please. Cross-cultural healthcare practices. So a question is posed, how can cultural differences and language barriers influence the delivery of healthcare services in modern tourism settings? How can cultural differences and language barriers influence the delivery of healthcare services in medical tourism settings? So the question is that, okay, when these international patients come over, they are from different cultures. You, the healthcare provider in the destination country, are from another culture. These cultural differences and language barriers, how can they influence healthcare services? How do they affect the healthcare that can be provided? The first is that it creates communication challenges and misunderstandings. Also, it leads to variations in expectations and standards of care, which affects the quality of care patients receive. Professionals in the medical tourism industry should be trained to address these potential challenges and provide culturally competent care, including language translation services and sensitivity to cultural differences. So, a way to solve these challenges, these communication challenges, these misunderstandings that could occur, is to train professionals in medical tourism to become sensitive to cultural differences and to include language translation services for the customers. Next slide, please. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Olujuwon, for Oluwajuwon for help stepping in to make presentation on behalf of a member of your group. We have quite a scanty class. We'll do well to look into our mentees' attendance. It has or is currently not encouraging, but we'll try to see how we best will take measures to ensure that our mentees understand the importance of being in sessions and carrying out the tasks that they ought to. But then moving forward, we just want to hear from our mentors. Like we said, we are treating two topics today, and our topics um, are health tech contracts and transaction, and um, business and tourism. So please, I don't know if which of our mentors is ready to go first, but I think I'll just give the floor to Mr. Ebenezer to go first, and just give us a discourse on today's topic. So,
Okay. Good afternoon. Hello, can you hear me? Please confirm.
good afternoon, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you. I celebrate the presenters, or rather the presenter. Firstly, the contents of the research. However, there are few mistakes. They are not negligible. I will come to that. But as for the contents, it is very rich. Please, can everybody on call turn on their videos? If you have your video on. I recorded a video of what's happening in India in medical tourism. In 1 year, India issued more than 2 million medical visas. The meaning is that more than 2 million people went to India for treatment. Issued visa. More than, the video is on the platform. I shared it in anticipation of this class. Go back and watch it. That is the stride India has made technologically. That video was not the development of their healthcare. They were telling their story, where they started, how over the years, you and Britain and other countries were bringing grain. And there was a UN data that was released that we die of starvation. Indians will die of starvation. Hunger will wipe them out. And a leader rose and said no, and started setting targets. Before you know it, they conquered hunger. Shipping, supplying food to other nations. In 2018, India said how many million megawatts of electricity? It's all is in that video. And they said that we do it in 5 years. No, in 3 years, that there we are, there we generate it. The world said it's not possible. They generated more than that. It was along that line that the man who was speaking said that last year, India issued more than 2 million medical tourism visa. God, I screamed. It is not about the visa. It is about development. That for them, they have conquered healthcare challenges. I'm trying to unpack that statement. India is saying, we have overcome healthcare challenges for us. That 2 million people world and receive quality healthcare and go home in 1 year. They didn't say in 10 years. Now, imagine what that is going to do to the economy of India. Mentioned the economic benefits to the country that is receiving, or the country that is giving care, the health benefits. These 2 million people, they are going to stay in hotels. They are going to eat food. They are going to buy consumables. They are going to even near to show their family that they actually went to India. Now, for the medical equipment manufacturers, that is ready market for them, because for the hospitals must be functioning for them to be able to host. Now, note that it is not one hospital. The population of India is 10 times bigger than the population of Nigeria. I hope you know that. So, if India 10, if not 15 times more bigger than Nigeria, more populated than Nigeria. Nigeria is only 200 million people. So if India, why can't Nigeria? After this class, go and watch that video. It's on the platform. Now, the man speaking said they hosted a president of a nation to treat him. Now, do you You have surrendered your head of states. You have surrendered your head of government. You have surrendered your number one citizen. Have you ever heard that a US president left the shores of the United States to go to another country for treatment? Suffering from cancer as we speak. He has not left Buckingham Palace. He has not left UK. That's the point I am making. Now, he said he hosted an African president who came for treatment. And they finished treating him. And they told him, "Okay, you can go." The man said, "No, I want to see the bill." They said, "No, you can't. You are our guests. You are our guests. So we are that generous for our people. Just go. We will write off the bill on the state. Go." The man said, "No, okay, yeah, at least let me see the bill." When the man saw the bill, the man couldn't believe, because the bill, knowing the treatment he has received and knowing the country he's coming from, I concluded that it must be an African president. They didn't mention, but I concluded. Knowing the country he's coming from, when he just opposed the treatment he received with the bill was nothing. And the man said, "Yes, we are in guests. We don't cheat our guests. We don't defraud our guests. We might have few bad people here and there, but we don't do that to an outside." For 3 days, I could not, my mind could not leave that video. I shared it on that medical tourism can be a foreign exchange earner for a nation. If we put our hospitals in place, a hospital is not just the building. That's what our politicians have failed to understand. They put up principal building, paint it, commission it. If you go there, the building is understaffed. That hospital building is under-equipped, grossly under-equipped. That any small things like headache, somebody has established themselves as the global tourism center when it comes to healthcare. Are you also aware that Indians have dominated the technology, the IT space? Indians provide top-notch IT services, even to Silicon Valley. So these people have said, let us carve a niche for ourselves in this area. Nigeria can do it. If only we can look inwards and give value to what we have. What did India do? India basically is into tradomedical. Are you aware that India has the highest number of, I wouldn't call it idols, highest number of gods with small g, letter G in the world? India has over 2 million gods that they worship. Now, you might ask me, what's the nexus between that and what I'm saying? The point I am in their locally manufactured products of orthodox medicine and their products, which is bringing results. Standardize our God. Are you aware that the bitter leaf, bitter leaves, and they are bringing it back to us to buy as capsule, and people are buying it. And people are buying it. Now, it's in order. We have the money to do research. Nigeria has the money. Yes, research is expensive, embezzled and diverted into private pockets. Research. Give it 2 years, give it 3 years, give it 5 years. And the world will be. trooping to Nigeria, looking for to put our name on the global map as nation for the world. But we have a lot of work. They just increased the attack within this week. Now, if we do not have steady power supply, that's the reason. Your power supply, you must have excess. Yeah, when you listen to the video, when you watch that video, you will get the minutest details. I'm like, what is this? That Nigeria cannot do it. The problem is, for now, we have not gotten there. That we prioritize human capital development. We think that development is road. We think that, yes, they are part of it. They are one. But how are the persons who are using that road? It is because we have not invested in our minds that human beings will wake up to go and vandalize government, the few infrastructures that government has tried to put in place. Somebody can go and cut railway line and go and sell it to eat food. So until the government invests in massive human capital development to change the thinking mindset of Nigerians, so that when we see value, we appreciate it. Then we can now upgrade it to world-class hospitals. I chose my word carefully because what we have here is each government will come and do whatever they can do. There is no sustainability. The subsequent government will just, okay, it is this man that built it and commissioned it, so it is not my work. Meanwhile, government is a continuum. So you just come, okay, since it's this man, he's even from the opposing political party, okay, we will allow this place to deteriorate. And you do not give thoughts to the number of human beings that will be affected by that singular decision of, okay, since it is not our party that will take the glory, people will lose their jobs, will die. So this is an aside. Let's come to our slide. Okay, I noted in slide 5 and 6, where you talked about healthcare policy regulation. You didn't really mention any. You glossed through it. Now, this is a presentation where you are saying, let me read your slide 5. The key regulatory frameworks in Nigerian health system include international provisions. What's the name of that international provision? You didn't mention. And national policy on health and human rights, as well as legal frameworks for policy for the protection of human rights. These frameworks, the health system, ensure the highest possible health standard and protect the right to healthy living. Do we have such? We do. Where is it coming from? The newly enacted National Health Insurance Authority Act mandates public insurance for all residents of Nigeria, that's true, and for residents of Nigeria, and establishes the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund and State Health Insurance Scheme. It did not establish the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. You need to get that, but it provides for its implementation. The National Healthcare, the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund is established under Section 11 of the National Health Act. So if you go to Section 24 of the National Health Insurance Authority Act, you will see implementation, it's even the heading, implementation of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. And the reference is made in that section to Section 11 of the National Health Act, which actually established the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. And what is the basic healthcare provision fund? That government should set aside certain sums of money to be given to hospitals as subventions. Don't forget that in Section 20 of the National Health Act, the law says that no hospital should deny or refuse patients treatment in an emergency situation. So the question now is, if you are saying hospitals should not refuse in emergency situation, then you have Section 1 of the compulsory treatment and care for Victims of Gunshot Act 2017. Section 1 says hospitals should receive and treat adequately persons with gunshot wounds with or without police reports. Then Section 2, which is the point I want to make, says those persons should be received and treated adequately without initial deposit of funds. Now, if somebody comes to hospital, maybe a gun wound victim, ordinarily he's supposed to deposit money. And the law has said you should treat him without initial deposit of money. The law didn't say he will not pay, but treat him with or without initial deposit of money. Where will the hospital get the money from? That is why we have Section 11 of the National Health Act, the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. 5% of that money is supposed to be channeled towards attending to emergency cases in hospitals. Now, the law has made that provision. Unfortunately, in the past, we have had cases where that fund was misappropriated, in the sense that rather than give it as subventions as provided by the law, the then Minister of Health decided that he wants to use that, not that the money will be used to buy ambulances. Now, for me, that is misappropriation. You are using the money for a purpose different from that for which the money was set aside. So the point I'm making is, your 5, as soon as you mention regulations, I expected you to see, you cited when you were presenting, you mentioned example, the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act, you mentioned it. You mentioned the Patients' Bill of Rights, you cited them as an example, but it's not reflecting in your work. If somebody did not listen to your presentation, the person may not get that particular point you made. So I expected to see the National Health Act. Anytime you talk about regulation of healthcare service in Nigeria, for now, if you're talking about regulation of medical practice, get it right, medical practice, you refer to the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act. You refer to maybe the Code of Medical Ethics. But if you talk health, the National Health Act is all-encompassing. For now, it's a singular document that regulates healthcare service delivery in Nigeria for now. So, reference anytime you talk healthcare service delivery, you have to make reference to the National Health Act. Now, it is interesting to know that Section 55 of the National Health Act says that ministers, in fact, public officers should not go abroad for treatment without first having clearance from the Minister of Health or the Commissioner of Health in the states. So now we are talking medical tourism. You should also note this. Secondly, there will not be. So if you are a serving minister and you want to go abroad for treatment, the legal procedure laid down by our laws is that you are supposed to be the Minister of Health. In fact, where's my national health? Sorry, excuse me. Okay, so that I will not be putting out. Right. Okay, 46. Yeah. Medical treatment abroad. 46. So I wanted to be sure of the session. Without prejudice to the right of any Nigerian to seek medical checkup, invest within and outside Nigeria. No public officer, I take it again, no public officer of the government of the federation or any part thereof shall be sponsored for medical checkup, investigation, or treatment abroad at public expense, except in exceptional cases on the recommendation and referral by recommendation or referral shall be duly approved by the minister, that's Minister of Health, or the Commissioner of Health, as the case may be. So you see that the government has taken a good initiative by restricting the sponsoring. They didn't say you can't go. The law is that you can go, but for the government to sponsor you, you have to seek approval. In fact, the health board will make recommendation to the Minister of Health to approve. If the Minister of Health does not approve, let's say a serving minister, someone at the Federal Public Service wants to or has need for this, the Minister of Health must first of all approve before the person goes out. If it's at the state level, the Commissioner of Health must first of all approve before the person goes out. Now you can see this is regulation, our own internal framework as it relates to medical tourism, that public servants are not sponsored for medical tourism with public funds. But don't you think that this is contradictory? People are sponsored for religious pilgrimages. Government sponsors people to Jerusalem for Christian pilgrimage. But I read the other day, I think 2 days ago, that 90 billion was used for sponsorship of Hajj. And the person compared that with what the Abia State governor is doing. The power plant that was just commissioned in Abia State was built with 10 billion. And the person said the money we are using to sponsor this religious trip can reproduce this power plant times 10 or times 9 in 9 different states of the Federation. So can you people see how our priorities work? Now, between religious pilgrimage and human life, because our policies are driven by our sense of priority. If life is important to us as a people, then we will make laws, not just copying and pasting. When we make laws, we put into those law mechanisms that will ensure their realization. So we cannot prioritize religious pilgrimage and say, okay, the government is, even though it's not a written law, there's no law anywhere. Firstly, Nigeria is not a religious state. I hope you know that. So there is nowhere in our laws that it is written the state should sponsor or can sponsor religious pilgrimages. But we have a law saying the state cannot sponsor a public servant to seek health care. For me, it's absurd. You check under chapter 2 of the 1990, in fact, I think it's section 14, the duty of government, primarily protection of lives and properties, lives. When we talk about section 33 of the Constitution, we talk about right to life. It's a right. Now, there are exemptions to that right, And if you look at the exemptions to that right, exceptions to that right, it does not include healthcare, meaning that the government is responsible. I chose my word carefully. If I have a right to life, in fact, the courts have in different cases interpreted right to life to include healthcare.
Hello, Mr. Ebenezer, are you with us, sir? Please, am I the only one that can't hear Mr. Ebenezer?
I can't hear him as well.
Okay, I think it's network issues from his end. I'm sure he'll
I
be
think
joining us.
so. True.
Mr. Ebenezer, sir, can you hear us? Okay, I'm sure he will try to rejoin in shortly. Um, Maybe we'll just give him a few minutes. If he's not back on the call in the next 2 or 3 minutes, then we'll just give you the opportunity, Ma, to go ahead with your own discourse, Ma.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So just wait and see.
Thank you, Ma. He said he's trying to rejoin us. I'm sure he'll be joining us very shortly.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. That was a fantastic presentation, by the way. The student that presented today, it was so like detailed, and the information was like top notch. So well
Thank,
done to her. Yeah.
thank you very much, Ma. Um,
Thank you.
okay, seeing that Mr. Ebenezer's network is still is- hello, Ma.
Yeah, yeah. Hello, Mr. Dennis. I'm hearing you now. I think your own network was breaking a little bit as well, but I'm hearing you now. Are you hearing me very well? Hello, Mr. Dennis? Oh, I think we've lost Mr. Dennis as well. The network is really breaky on that end. Hello, Mr. Dennis, are you there? Okay, can anyone hear me in the house? Is anyone there? Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you, ma'am.
Oh, fantastic. Maybe I just quickly give a brief summary, or see if we give maybe 1 or 2 minutes. If Mr. Dennis comes back, I think he wanted to usher me
Yes,
in just while. Okay. Mr.
yes, Ma.
Dennis,
I'm
you're
back.
back, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Ma.
your network.
Please, you can go ahead and just give us your own overview of the topic. And then at any point where Mr. Ebenezer is back in call, when you are done, then he will continue.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis. And thank you so much. Also, Barrister Ebenezer, no, he's not here right now, but he was actually talking the truths, the facts, things that are happening in Nigeria. And of course, our presenter earlier on, the student, she did very well. Even everything she talked about is what's the reality right now in health, business and tourism in health, right? Generally, what a barrister said is so true. Like India right now, I think they are the ones taking real advantage of this tourism aspect. He talked about them giving them so many, giving out so many tourist visas over the past year or so. Really, I believe that, because even our Nigerians go to India like almost on a jiffy. Every other day, you hear a Nigerian saying he went to India for a particular procedure and all of those things. So it's so true. They're taking advantage of that because it's a huge economic boost even to their own economy. You understand? Even as much as it is, health tourism on its own. First of all, health on that is like the most precious asset that every human being can boast of. You understand? With health, you can't, I mean, how would you live your life without health, for example, right? So health directly impacts our lives, our ability to pursue our dreams. All of us right now, the students here, you're trying to, climb that your professional ladder to whatever it is that you want to become in the nearest future. So, but if your health is not in a good place, I mean, you can't pursue your dreams, right? You can't even contribute to the society. So, like, it's so important. Health is so important. So, and then, like in recent years, there have been this paradigm shift from regular should I call it this regular form of wellness that we just call orthodox wellness. You're talking about absence of illness and everything like that, or symptoms, absence of a particular disease. People just want that. But now things have shifted though. Everybody's going holistic right now. Do you understand? Everybody wants this kind of both physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being. That's like the in thing right now. And that's really the most that's number one reason why most people even travel right now. You understand? I like there's this kind of industry that India, for example, what Barrister Ebenezer was trying to say when we're talking about them having so many gods. There's this kind of treatment I call Ayurvedic medicine, right? That is practiced in India. Do you know how many people from the Western world travel to India like almost multiple times in a year just to access that treatment? It's not regular. It's not a regular kind of treatment that is maybe a symptom, like removing of a particular symptom. Okay, yeah. I have cardiovascular issues, like, okay, I have issues with my heart, or my blood pressure is like it's uncontrolled every now and then and everything. And then, okay, you're going to meet a cardiologist, or you do have a cardiac failure or anything, or have this particular chronic condition, I have the diabetes and everything. My sugar cannot be controlled. I need to get a therapy, I need to get medications, or I need to even go for surgeries, or have this, osteoarthritis. It's more than maybe symptomatic relief right now, or taking away the symptom. People go to all these places because they can access what we call holistic care. And the holistic aspect of a life is really what makes you whole. That's why we say most people are sick in Nigeria, for example. It's an analogy. When you say sick, they may not be physically sick per se, but the way they behave, how erratic they are, the way they respond to, the way they react to situations around, the condition now, the way the economy is. People could even act before they think right now in the country. You kill somebody before you realize what you've done, for example. You understand? Those are symptoms of sicknesses, even if it may not be a physical sickness. So it could be mental sicknesses, you understand? Sometimes it will be emotional. People just a little arguments in the house, and people just do some crazy things, and they lose their partner, or they start regretting what happened. You understand? So emotional crisis too. Yes, hello. So right now it's all about, there's this paradigm shift. People are now like, okay, yes, I want something more for my life. I want to be whole. People, you see so many in India now, those Ayurvedic centers, they have spas, they have centers where people can just relax their mind. I think somebody's on a mic, right? So all these spas, they make them calm mentally. They give them special herbal massages. They give them some people medications that they take. They're not even like regular orthodox medications, maybe like naturopathic remedies and all of those things. And it translates into like maximum productivity in the lives of the patients once they are done with those therapies. They get the best of treatment, even beyond what the regular orthodox medications would have given to them. They are more efficient in their workplaces. They are more positive in the environment. They exude positive energies to the people around them. They are happier. In fact, it's a whole, you've delivered a new child when they come out from such therapies. So that's why people go to all these countries. So if Nigeria right now, despite the fact that most times medical tourism is always people from countries that's supposed to be well developed, like in the Western world, because maybe especially the West, like in the United States, not necessarily some Scandinavian countries. Those countries whereby their health system is still very, very expensive. You have to wait for long queues for you to get access to maybe a particular surgical procedure. All these rudiments there, they'll be like, why can't I just go to other countries where I can still get the same quality of care? And then it's even less expensive, it's more cost effective. I don't need to wait for long queues, and I can still take advantage of the whole environment, learn new things, new cultures, and all of those things. That's why so many people from the West go to all these other countries that we talked about, India. So people go to Asia, they go to all the Mexico, most of all these other countries, right? Even Nigerians now, as I said, most of us, despite the fact that we don't even, we say Nigerians have money actually. That's just the truth. This country is actually a third world country. It's unfortunate that medical facilities or their medical institutions are nothing really to write home about. But our brains are fine. That's why most of us, we're losing a lot of us now to other countries, unfortunately. But even because of the way the state of our medical institutions, that many people are forced to leave the country to go for that greener pastures to seek medical, help, because they don't trust the system or don't believe in the system. People are politicians now because they understand, they know that the health industry is not really that should I standardized. So they don't want to risk their own loved ones or themselves to the hands. Unfortunately, it's really a sad thing. That's another discussion on its own. The state of our institution, our health institution in this country, when we have the intellectual prowess, we have the man capacity. We have we even graduate many medical doctors more than many other countries of the world right now. And many of our Nigerian professionals, medical doctors abroad, they are doing exceptionally well. They're even doing much more than even the nationals in those countries. So it's quite unfortunate that we're losing our brains just because the system does not encourage us to bring out our best. So that being said, our Nigerians also go for all these countries for medical tourism per se, they are also taking advantage of the technological advancements in these countries. For countries like Nigerians going for other countries, it's because we don't have those qualities, should I call it standardized treatments or facilities or we have manpower, but we've been choked. You understand? So we can't really maximize what we have, unfortunately, because the environment does not foster that kind of thing. So we go to those countries because we trust their systems. Why there are some other countries that move to other countries that are even less advanced than them in terms of development, but their medical industries they have maintained standardization, like India, for example, right? And I talked about maybe Mexico and some other Asian countries, and many of these Western countries go for medical tourism. So for those different reasons, they have their own issues, people in the United States. So all of these things are happening all over the world right now. And the thing about it is that the patient benefits better. Somebody that wants to go out for medical tourism benefits going there for the medical care that he cannot see in his country, or the environment, or the stresses that he wants to avoid, or the expenses that his country is providing for him. I told you that there are different phases. There are people that, despite the fact that it's more expensive in the other countries, they are ready to go there because of the quality of service compared to their own home countries. And then there are some others that feel that their own home countries are so expensive. Why can they not get the same quality in other countries that are less expensive, and they don't even have to wait for long queues to be able to access health? And then they go to those other countries, right? So in those different scenarios. But the summary is that there's a win-win situation for both the patient and then the receiving countries. Like the student said, she said it very well, because let's not doubt Why do you think that India will be so excited to give visas for medical tourism to people to come to their country to get medical care? Of course, it's advantageous to them. It's lucrative to them. Definitely, there's no doubt about that. Even looking at the slides, what we were talking about, like apart from the fact that these people are going to be going, there's going to be a foreign exchange stuff. Like you're coming to India, for example, with dollars, or you're coming with pounds, or with other higher currencies. For example, you're going to be paying them. And this thing is it's a whole network of economic booster. It's not just only in the medical facilities. We're talking about job creation, like what in the slide I was just shared a few moments ago. Talking about you know, it's a tourism asset. People are still going to those countries because they want to also experience the nature, the new things that they don't have in their own countries. Especially even in this whole aspect of holistic health now that they see. You know, India has so many wonderful states that, you know, they have things that are so enriching to the health of the individuals that it's not really attainable in the regular orthodox practice. So when they are going there, they're coming with their foreign currencies. They're coming there like all these hotels, those that are going to be lodging the visitors, right? The patients that will be coming. That's like very, very lucrative to those countries. All those transportation and everything. So it's just like as if you are doing a trade fair or you are doing this a World Cup event where countries that are hosting an event benefit a lot financially. That's the same thing with medical tourism. So the country is going to benefit from, you know, all those restaurant, travel, all these hospitality aspects. And then, of course, the main, the medical fees, whatever it's going to take. And then they're also going to be exchanging a lot of, you know, ideas, cultures, and all of those things. It even upgrades a country's quality and facility, the medical facility, because they see it as lucrative for their country. So they want to meet up to the standard, the international standard. So that's why sometimes it's encouraged for government to actually support medical tourism for itself, for its own countries, providing funds for hospitals to be able to equip their facilities with state-of-the-art, you know, medical equipment, you know, all the standardized measures put in place, and then it takes them on a higher, you know, in a higher pedestal, like above, or at least meeting those standards that are attainable outside the globe. So the country benefits definitely. So all those infrastructural developments are also a plus for the country, because the country does not want to maybe like fall their hands, or they don't want to lose their clients per se, because that's a huge economical boost for them as a whole. So that was in the slide. And the funny thing is that you think that these things are huge. When they calculated it in India, like what Barrister was saying in the video, the monetary aspects were so huge. Or it's not just a little profit here and there. It's so huge on what they call the GDP of a country. I can't really put figures out there, but it's as though it's another ball of investment in a nation. You know what it is for you to say, okay, a country like Dubai, for example, that many people are coming there for tourism purposes. And that's almost like the major their major capital. The major way they get their economic boost is in tourism. They don't have 1/3 of what we have in Nigeria. But then, of course, it's the standard of life that they have there over there, just from tourism. So that's the same rate in which medical tourism profiles a nation that is the receiver. It's really huge economically. There's no doubt about that. And it also standardizes their, you know, all their infrastructures and everything like that. And then, of course, the patient benefits a lot from the quality service they receive, the cost-effective service they receive, wonderful nature, wonderful tourist, you know, exchange in cultures and all of those things. So it's very, very lucrative. There's no doubt about that. So I cannot, all the slides, I was trying to look at critical areas that was not said. Basically, I said the slides were really, they're detailed. I really commend the students that did her research very well. I just, you know, if I can't see anything right, I'll just go to a real life story and experience like a real medical tourism aspect that we are currently, where in my facility, we're taking advantage of, right? So her slides are really, really good, and she really talked on this, my own aspect of talking about the importance of the medical tourism, what it does to the country that is receiving it, and then also the patient themselves that go for these programs. It's something that they're happy that they go for. Even some some of them that go for this medical tourism because they don't have those quality services in their countries. I believe if despite the fact they pay so much, they are still happy that they get those quality services. That's why it pains me a lot why a country like Nigeria that's so blessed in every way, every shape and form, while we are still we are suffering in this regard in terms of our medical facilities. That means we don't really understand the assignment because it's not so far to get there. You understand? We even have this aspect of natural medicine that other countries are taking advantage of their own localized natural healthcare service. I talked about the Ayurvedic medicine now in India. Chinese also have their own what they call traditional Chinese medicine. That it's not even like a popular thing in the West now. That imagine from China, it's now become almost a global phenomenon. Even in Nigeria, we take advantage of TCM, the traditional Chinese medicine. Can you imagine? And we are like more like the foundational people. We have the original, should I say, God-given roots and herbs and all our medical issues. We've not just been able to take advantage of our regulation. The federal government has not been able to really put emphasis on us, on the nation's resource in terms of our own originally God-given medical practice, our traditional medicine, that we can actually refine it and bring it out there to the globe. And that's another source of huge income, like to be a powerful inspiration for medical tourism for people in the West to come to Nigeria. When last did we hear that somebody came from the West to come to Nigeria for medical tourism? If it's not the other way around. When last have we heard somebody coming from the UK to come to Nigeria for medical tourism? It's not, well, Nigerians are even going to other countries because they don't even trust themselves. Do you understand? But we even have the things that they're looking for. Rather, they come to our country and pick up all those things that God gave us, freely. And then they go and use it in the other countries. And every part of Nigeria has their unique ingredients or their unique herbs or nutrients. There are people like in the north, they have their unique herbs or roots that help them. People we have gastric issues, cardiovascular issues, mental issues. Even I've seen some plants that they help women that are about to give birth and they're finding it difficult to contract. All this, they are not able to dilate or even to, for their uterus to contract. And there are so many herbs that they give some people like that in the north, and it helps them easily. It helps the woman's pelvic to dilate and to be more flexible. So we just have so many things that we're just wasting in this country. So most of those that know what to do with them come to Nigeria and pick them maybe illegally, or we just sell it at outrageous price. We don't even know the value. So they go there and refine it and bring it back to us. We see sort of network marketing companies, for example. Barrister was talking about bitter leaf being put in the capsules and then bringing it back to us to buy. Can you imagine? We have bitter leaf everywhere. Nobody has thought of encapsulating them and making it more, dynamic, that you can sell it outside the country where they don't have they don't have this bitter leaf, for example. Do you know the other day I saw a network marketing company that was marketing moringa plants that is like pure water in Nigeria, for example. And they had in mind to they packaged it into their own products in capsulation, and they brought it back to Nigeria for us to market it for them as network marketers with outrageous amounts. It was not even cheap at all, and Nigerians were buying it. Nigerians were buying moringa that is everywhere. It's a miracle plant that has not even be more like patented enough for Nigerian market for you to be able to even take it outside or enable other people to come to the country to take and have access, access to all these wonderful things. If we have been regulated enough, Nigeria would have been. We have so many opportunities to have been so rich in so many diverse ways. We're not talking about medical tourism today. We're not talking of human capacity. We're not talking of energy now, renewable energy, and all of those things that we're wasting. So what can we say in a nation like this? So medical tourism, they package the moringa in capsules and started bringing it to also do network marketing, and people were buying it and saying that they were healed from all kinds of conditions when we have it freely here in this country. So those are just the ill things. Those are the things that make us sad, that other countries are taking advantage of them. And I talked about this holistic trend now that is happening, because people have now understood that 80% of the conditions that they have can be controlled by preventive measures or by proper nourishment, when you take the right nutrients, for example. If not for the innovation that came with all this vitamin D, vitamin C, people that used to have all this scurvy, this bow leg, this rickets and everything, they were able to find all the nutrients. Vitamin C that help to help people with all this scurvy, and the vitamin D, all those bow legs, rickets and everything. They were nutrient innovations, for example, right? So people are now understanding that if they are proactive about their health, if they eat the proper diet, they don't junk themselves with processed or artificial foods, they could live longer, or they could even heal faster, right? So now they are now taking advantage of all these wellness spas. That's the major thing in medical tourism right now in many countries. Wellness spas where they'll take detoxification technology and then all of those things. It's just so amazing. It's a big range and it's economic boost to those nations. See us, Nigeria, that we have all those. We can't even package them in a standardized way that will attract foreigners because the system doesn't even allow it. So I think that those are one of the things that the legal system will be looking at. How do we bring this thing, or who are those that bring all these suggestions to the table for it to be implemented? I know it's getting open, right? Nigeria is opening more in terms of even the accreditations, the medical, the certifications, and all of those things. They are just like the Medical and Dental Council. It's not being recognized as the naturopathic aspect of the medication, but we still have a long way to go, right? So one major technology advancement that I have noticed in practice, most people right now, the conditions that they're always facing, whether before it used to be an elderly people's disease, when we talk about people with back pain, neck pain, middle back pain, and all of those things. You would be surprised that if you ask out of every 10 persons about the conditions that they go through, at least like 8 or 6 people out of those 10 people will talk about issues with back pain related issues, back pain, neck pain, or spinal issues. You understand? So this is one of the major places that people are taking advantage of medical tourism in globally, actually, because most times the recommendation is either they manage the symptoms, because the spine itself is such a delicate structure that you don't, the pains that come out from the spine due to the nerves that are being irritated, because the nerves are located within the spine as well. They come out from the spine. When those nerves are being irritated, it brings so much pain on the patient that is so painful that they just want to do anything to take them off the pain. They are ready, even if it means doing surgeries. Unfortunately, it's so bad that sometimes they're just looking for solution. But that surgery on its own, it's not supposed to be the next line of treatment. If people understood the other modalities, because the surgery on its own is actually 50-50, and people don't want to be, you just invasive imagine you're invading your spine, just no matter, see how delicate the spine is, for example. So going into the spine, an invasive procedure and all of those things, people are already becoming afraid of it. People are getting tired of it. So even the orthodox practice, whereby they feel that this condition has become so extreme and they need to go into the surgeries, and that's their only hope. Maybe they've gone through physiotherapy, or they've gone through a lot of medications, they're giving them a lot of steroid injection and it does not help. They now decide to go into the surgical procedure. They're now developing new technologies now that is like minimally invasive technologies to help them in spine decompression, for example. This is just like one analogy out of the so many other areas where people go for countries or places where they have all these devices, talking about medical technologies, right? But funny enough, apart from just being minimally invasive, there are even technologies right now that they are non-invasive completely. You don't even need to go into the spine at all, not to talk about being minimally invasive. You don't even need to open up anything at all. And they're able to decompress the spine. You understand? We may not be able to have time to discuss that, but that's another major area where people are going outside the country now for medical care, because this issue of back pain it's rampant now. It's no more elderly. It used to be elderly people's disease before, because it's age-related, degenerative disc disease and everything. But now young people are getting it now because of postural malhygiene. People don't sit properly. People don't, carry heavy weights properly. They don't lie down on the appropriate mattresses and all of those things. So imagine if they told you that your condition now, you need surgery as a young person. Maybe you're just in your early 20s or your mid, maybe your early 30s or even your 40s. You are still very young. and they tell you that because of your condition, the condition of your spine, you have to go for spinal surgeries. It's really alarming, and it can be fearful for the parents and the loved ones. So this aspect, when they realize that there's something else that they could be taking advantage of that doesn't have to involve a surgical procedure, why would people go to those countries or wherever it's available? So, for example, now we have a powerful device that is a electronic material that decompresses the spine, and these things are produced by foreigners. Of these are things that Africans could take advantage of if they're exposed to all this kind of modality. If the country could help them, because it's in the medical in the spectrum of health, there are different arms to your own contribution, your own quota. You don't have to necessarily be a medical practitioner to be able to benefit from the medical industry. I'm talking of the business of medicine, for example. You understand? Or even the medical tourism aspect. We talked about hospitality the other time when we talked about how countries can benefit in terms of transportation, hotel, food, and all of those things. The same thing, even in medical devices, all the technologies that are coming up to help people out of their ailments, people can be creating those things. So in the facility where I work, for example, we have specialized tables that we use to adjust patients. It's a chiropractic facility, actually. So we just deal with the spine. So, but we can't use regular tables. They have to be specially crafted. They are specialized materials that are very expensive because you don't produce them in Nigeria. There are decompression tables, devices that help to decompress the spine, because the spine, you're having those pain because your spine has been compressed, or your nerves have been compressed, or your disc have been pushed. Something or in that line is happening to your spine that is causing you your spine, the nerves that come out from your spine to be irritated. So when you can decompress that thing, it relieves the patient of the pain, and then it allows your body to start healing itself. So those are the things that people go for, and because it's not so easily available, you see, the prices are now like crazy. They're just crazy. They're expensive. But if it's something that a foreigner knows that, okay, yes, I can't have it in my country, let me go to this country, it's the country that's receiving them that will benefit. But if the federal government sees the importance, they can actually subsidize this kind of procedures so that people can create it, develop, the technicians can be put on deck to create those things. Even if they don't have the knowledge, they'll go and understudy. The government will sponsor young enterprising students to countries to understudy the technicalities, so produce all those things. That's what China does for most of their indigenes. They don't waste time. You don't have to even know it from scratch. They send their students abroad to learn all the technicalities. And then that's why they're the hub of every creative industry right now is China. They envision the financial implications of all these things. They're always thinking of the prosperity ahead. That's why they even partner with so many African countries, not because they are so kind, they really want to help us in the country. No. They are being shareholders now of the country's wealth. That's why you see them everywhere in Africa. They're even owning most of the things because, of course, they knew that will not be able to pay off in the long run. So they don't taking advantage of this thing. So medical tourism on its own, it's more enjoyable, it's more exciting when we're talking from the point of we as a nation who are taking advantage of it, rather than thinking of going to other countries to take advantage of things that are easily supposed to be accessible in our countries, right? We may still decide to take medical tourism for other conditions that may not, other should I call it treatment expertise that of course we may not necessarily have in the countries. Fine, as long as there's a bilateral flow. You understand? We go there for things that we don't have, and they come here for things that they don't have. But we were just one dimensional. We're just consuming. It's unfortunate, right? So like those decompression machines, a powerful device, and it really relieves the patient. And not just that, it positions the body in such a way that the body now understands the assignment. Over time, the body starts to heal itself. You understand? So all of these things are like people. There's one particular machine that is yet to be in Nigeria. That thing is not even in Nigeria currently. It's only in Ghana, and it's a foreigner that brought it to Ghana because the closest place he could walk to be able to take advantage of the African market was Ghana because of the security aspects. Comparing it, it was supposed to be Nigeria that he would have preferred to come to because of the large market and all of those things. But unfortunately, they could not establish themselves in Nigeria because of the insecurity and all the uncertainties in the country. They had to choose Ghana. And also Ghana has their own advantage because there's a difference between you going to other countries for medical tourism than the industries bringing those things to your country so that your country can also take advantage of it and they have a share in it. Just like saying bringing people to come to Nigeria to come and invest in Nigeria. So by so doing that, you are going to use our own labor. You are going to train our people, right? Of course, you are going to get your benefit as well as a foreigner because you are going to bring your business into the country. But at least you are going to be using our people. You are going to help our industry. You are going to also help the our infrastructure. So the land where you are where you are doing business will be smiling because there's also a ripple effect in the country. That's what I'm talking right now. That device is only in Ghana. From the foreign country, they brought it to Ghana, and now Nigerians have to now leave Nigeria to go to Ghana to access that particular care. So we are the one expending more money now. Meanwhile, if it was in Nigeria, we would have been able to take advantage of it here in the country. So those are all the intricacies. The thing is that countries are really enjoying medical tourism. The only unfortunate thing in our Nigerian story is that we are the consumers. We are just one spending. We are not enjoying the financial benefits. Yes, we will be enjoying the infrastructural benefits in other countries. You understand? So basically, that's it. I don't know whether because my network is going down and my battery is low. I would have preferred. I always prefer questions from the students so that I'll know what they want to know more on this issue and be able to answer them directly. But the presentation was wonderful. Right now you see I'm sweating. You see the country. So currently there's no light, so my battery is really very low. Now, are you still hearing me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Yes. So at this point, I just want to open the floor for anybody to talk. Any questions, regarding that? Because my battery is really low. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. So please, do we have any questions for Doctor before she has to leave the call because of her battery? Mentees on call. Please, do we have any question for Dr. Arita?
Please ask.
Oluwajuwon, Oluoma, Uju, do you people have any questions for Dr. Arita? Okay. It seems our mentees don't have any questions that they would like to ask. Please, you can also do well to send your questions into the chat box so that we can all see them, and I will do well to also read them. So please, if you are not free to actually unmute yourself, please you can send your question into the chat box. But while we are waiting for question, Mr. Ebenezer is back with us. So, sir, we'd just like to have you finish up your section. Any question that comes in now, we'll just direct the question over to you. Mr. Ebenezer, sir.
I didn't hear that.
Okay, yes, sir. We just want you to. You were cut out the last time. We just want you to complete the discourse that you were giving, sir.
Okay. Okay. I was responding to the presentation made by the first presentation made on tourism, and a few things I left out. I think Doctor has graciously captured them. But the point I am making is that, I'm trying to turn on my video. The point I am making is that medical tourism, Nigeria can choose an aspect. It might not be every aspect of medicine. We can choose one thing we want to be known for. Even if it is supplying even if it is going into massive research to look at the chemical components or properties of the various leaves and herbs we have, then package them and also ship these things out. The one that is paining me the most is that bitter leaf is being brought back to Nigerians and people are buying it. It's painful. For us, it's everywhere. It's in your backyard. Everybody on this call today knows what bitter leaf is. Then secondly, is that this calls for, I wish those in authority who hear or find a way of hearing these things we are saying, so that policies could be made. We have a lot of them, but with the people in mind, or even let there be a law on implementing the existing policies. If we implement the ones we have, the way they are. Let us even implement. So that is basically a summary of my thoughts on this. One, that medical tourism is a major foreign exchange earner for any country that involves in it. By that I mean providing healthcare services to the globe. So it's a major foreign exchange earner. It boosts the economy, it provides jobs. But for Nigeria to do that, we have to create an enabling environment, starting with tackling security, so that we do not have a situation whereby people come here for medication and their families are being called to bring money for ransom. Then after we tackle security, we tackle power, steady power supply. So even if the government is not willing to invest, the private sector, individuals can invest. We can see what Peace Air is doing now. The impact of Air Peace flying the Lagos UK route alone. I was listening to his interview a few days ago. Air ticket was 15, 14, 16, 17 million. Now, the same companies, the same flight company that were charging this huge have brought their tickets down to 5 million and are even begging people to come and fly with them, doing adverts. That's what disruption can cause. So if we have a situation whereby the private sector, the enabling environment is created, and the private sector invests massively in healthcare service delivery, we will have a disruption. We will share with India that 2 million visa they issued, maybe 500 or 300 would have come to Nigeria, and they carry the other one. So that's my thought. If there are questions, please let them come. If there are none, if we have time, we take the second presentation.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
You're
So
welcome.
please, do we have questions? Dr. Arisa is no longer with us. She had to, I think, because of her battery, she had to
Yeah,
leave.
I heard her.
So please, do we have questions? Please, are there questions on on this said topic? Okay, if there are no questions, okay, can we have week 4 presentation? Do we have the presenter for week 4 now with us? Um, Let me see if I can confirm. Okay. It seems we still don't have the presenters and the backup presenter for the contracts. The
Who were supposed to present?
Okay, so for week 4 on the health care contract, we're supposed to have
Yes.
Rachel, but Rachel actually reached out to me that she will be attending a burial. So she said she will not be in session, but we had a discussion about how that another person is supposed to, the
So
backup presenter
who
is
was
supposed to be
supposed to stand in for her?
I think that is supposed to be Dr. Ruben, but he's also not with us here on call.
Is there any communication from him?
None as such, sir. So we'll try to see if we can get back to him to understand why presentation was not being, why he was not in session, and why presentations were not being made.
So in their absence, can we take this class on Wednesday public holiday or Thursday public holiday, so that we do not crowd so that we do not carry it over to Sunday? Is it convenient, or can we
Okay,
get another person here to present it?
okay. So can we have another? Can we have someone step in to make presentation um, on behalf of the group concerning week 4's topic? Okay, I think we can do Thursday, sir. We can set a class for Thursday. The public
Okay,
holiday. We'll just do well to communicate with you, sir, and with the group as
okay,
regards the session for
okay.
Thursday. Yes, sir.
It's
Thank you very
okay.
much.
So by
Um,
Wednesday, let's talk on Wednesday so that I can look at my time and we agree on time for Thursday.
all right, sir. That will be okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Okay,
so
in the
before
absence of any Christian, do have a pleasant evening. Okay, your
yes,
photo
I would like
session.
to yes, we would like to take pictures, please. Can our mentees turn on their videos so that we can just quickly take our picture and then call it in the night.
Anosike, you don't have question. Why?
So I understood everything that was taught.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wale, no question from you too.
No questions, sir. I understood everything, sir.
Okay.
All right, please, can we have our videos turned on so that we can quickly take our picture and then we'll call it the end of today's session. Please, can we comply? Just quickly turn on your video so that we can do that.
Okay, Uju, I'm seeing that face for the first. Did she just join?
No, Uju has been with us in some of our sessions, sir. She has been available, sir.
Okay. So no question too. It's okay.
All right, so we are done with the pictures. Thank you very much to all our mentees that were able to comply. With that, we've come to the end of today's session. It was a nice, I think, 2 hours in class, and it was nice hearing from both Mr. Ebenezer and Dr. Arita. We look forward to seeing you guys in on Thursday in the session. Please put it in mind that we'll be having a rescheduled session for health contracts and transactions on Thursday next week.
Yes,
So,
Thursday evening.
so do well to
Evening, either
check
4
your.
p.m. or 5, but let's talk on Wednesday so that
All
I'll
right.
look
So
at my schedule.
So the time will be communicated to the mentees
Yes.
on Wednesday as regards the time for the class. But do well to also clear your schedule so that you can be in attendance on Thursday. So thank you everyone and good night.
Thank you.